Snuggle close, darlings. Sometimes the best way to warm up is to let your guards down. Chapter 25. Thaw. Through the curtain of snow, a cabin materialized. Small, solid, its windows dark, but welcoming. Callum dismounted smoothly, keeping one hand on Darcy as he helped her down.
Richard's old hunting cabin,
He explained, fumbling with frozen keys.
though he did more photographing than hunting.
Inside was cold but dry. Callum moved with practiced efficiency, lighting the wood stove, pulling down blankets, his hands gentle but urgent as he turned to her.
We need to get you out of these wet clothes.
His voice was professional, but a blush colored his cheeks.
Hypothermia isn't exactly the Christmas Eve I had planned.
At least buy me dinner first.
She managed through chattering teeth.
Darcy,
His eyes held hers, serious despite her attempt at humor.
you're dangerously cold. We need to...
Share body heat.
Her frozen lips tried for a smile.
Very convenient, Mr. Winters.
That startled a laugh from him.
Even half frozen, you're impossible.
His hands moved to her jacket zipper.
May I?
She nodded, unable to stop shivering as he carefully peeled away her wet layers. His own wet clothes followed, and then he was wrapping them both in blankets, pulling her against his chest on the cabin's small bed.
Not exactly how I imagined our first time in bed together.
She murmured, feeling warmth slowly return to her limbs.
No.
His voice rumbled through her back.
And how did you imagine it?
With fewer cases of hypothermia, more strategic planning,
She pressed closer, seeking his warmth.
though the bare chest part isn't bad.
Rest.
He whispered, his arms tightening around her.
We can discuss strategic planning later.
She drifted off to the sound of the storm and his heartbeat, steady and strong against her back. When she woke, golden light filtered through the cabin's windows. The storm had passed, leaving the world pristine and new. She was still wrapped in Callum's arms, though the blankets had slipped down to reveal more skin than she was prepared to process before coffee.
Hey,
His voice was soft near her ear.
how are you feeling?
Warm,
She turned in his arms to face him.
alive, mortified about the whole getting lost thing.
Don't be.
His fingers traced her cheek.
Though maybe next time wait for backup before charging into a blizzard.
Next time?
Well, I'm hoping there won't be another blizzard rescue, but
His eyes grew serious.
I'd like there to be a next time, many next times, with you.
She studied his face in the morning light. No shadows lurked there now, no ghosts haunting his eyes. Just Callum, real and warm and looking at her like she was something precious.
I'd like that too.
She touched the scruff on his jaw.
Though maybe we could start with coffee.
Coffee first,
He smiled but didn't move.
then we can talk about why you really ran out into that storm. About Claire. About everything.
Everything?
Everything.
He leaned closer.
Including all those strategic plans you had for our first time in bed.
Heat that had nothing to do with blankets flooded through her.
Coffee first?
Coffee first.
But neither of them moved toward the small kitchen. Instead, Darcy found herself tracing the lines of his collarbones, feeling his breath catch as her fingers wandered lower.
Or,
She whispered.
we could discuss those strategic plans now.
His response was to kiss her, slow and deep and full of promise. Outside, snow glittered in the morning sun, but neither of them noticed. Some moments didn't need to be drawn or photographed. They just needed to be lived, thoroughly.